my dad needed air ambulance. As I said, my dad was working in Middle East, yeah, and he had a heart attack, and we had to arrange air ambulance. We were clear from the beginning that we don't want to be a domestic medical air transfer company. We wanted to be purely international medical air transfer only. Dubai, if you look at it, is like a global transition hub. So if you see medical air transfer, how many might happen from UAE? Maybe once in a week or twice in a week. That's what you would think. But it is immense. Like, every day there are on an average from 2024's data, around 2 to 2.5 patient transfer happened just from UAE. That time there was issue going on with the Taliban government, US government, etc. So he was stuck midst of that, and also he was very sick. He was in hospital. But in this case, the government apparently told them they cannot help them. So they reached out to us, and then we did the mission. It was a chaos to the level that the aircraft is hovering in the sky, but they are not giving us landing permit. That, things are not really good in that region. I mean, back then it wasn't. So we anticipated that there might be some problems. So we put few of our members over there. So they reached out to, one official after the other, and then they reached to the regional leader of the Taliban government over there. The best moment was the family members, the children of the patient, had flew down to Dubai, and they were eagerly waiting, in the hospital. So I was with them at the hospital while the patient was coming. So the tears in their eyes, the blessings that they gave us was of immense value.
Amazing stories are all around us. Welcome to Raise, the rise of remarkable minds by our art, where inspiring minds are shared. Let's begin. Once again, welcome to Raise Our Art podcast. Today we have with us Dharshak Manikandan, I would say visionary CEO, co-founder, Qwiklif Air Ambulance Services. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So myself, Simi. So most of the questions I have made today is more of technical ones. So I think you are the right person to answer to all of my questions, because I have zero knowledge about air, ambulance and aviation. Is that right?
Sure. Let's go ahead.
Okay. So once again, welcome to the podcast. Can you briefly introduce yourself beyond the title of CEO?
All right. My name is Dharshak, and by education, I am an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
And if you have to ask me beyond the title of CEO, I would say I love solving problems, and I love to solve problems wherein I'm actually changing someone's life or someone's journey of life in a better way. Okay. So I would ideally put it, somewhere in that range.
Okay. So since you mentioned solving issues and solving things, and as an aerospace engineer, so would love to know about your childhood, what kind of a childhood you had, and, the person that you've become. Would like to know in a short.
Sure. So I was born in Kerala, raised in Mumbai, and I did all my schooling over there. Mm-hmm. My mother is a teacher. My dad was into chemical industry. He used to work in Bombay back then, and now from the past around more than a decade, he is working in the Middle East. So I have always been, surrounded by either students, or when I go with my dad to the factories, something related to chemistry or, physics, all those things. So, if I have to look back at my childhood, I would ideally say, I think I was very much into studies, but not really a bookworm. Mm-hmm. I used to love going out. I used to love my labs, the labs in school. Physics lab was my favorite. I used to spend maximum time over there, mm-hmm. Whenever I could. But yeah, ideally, I loved solving, be it problems from the books, be it, real life problems, which involves maybe, making the cycle a better way, gear cycle in a better way, or doing something with my remote control cars. So this was my, school childhood. If I have to go a little bit ahead, I would say I am I was more into learning a lot of new stuff, which basically introduced me to the world of aeronautics and astronautics, which made me pursue aerospace engineering.
Wow. So you've known as a visionary, if I'm not wrong, because I was reading your biodata, who believes ideas must become impact. If I'm not wrong, if that's the thing I got an idea about you. Where did this mindset come from?
This mindset essentially came from one of my professors back from college. Uh, so he said one thing which really hit me, which was basically everyone has ideas. So he just mentioned few ideas which majority of the students had, which I thought only I had. But how would I stand different from the crowd?
It
By
would be
making
unique.
it, yes, by making it into an actual product or actual service, or making it into existence basically. So that's where the inspiration of idea into existence comes into picture, I would say.
So you'd studied your aerospace engineering in?
In Karan University, Coimbatore.
Okay. So that education, how it turned into thinking as a founder of Qwiklif.
Well, I think majority of the credit doesn't go to the course specifically; it goes to the college.
Okay.
Because it was a college wherein it was mandatory that you have to stay over there in the hostel, and it's around 2.5 hours away from the city in the middle of mountains. It's scenic, it's beautiful, but the problem is you have to stay in the hostel.
Okay.
And whatever money we used to get from home was very, very less. So in hostel, like, you have to go for
You didn't add a
party.
luxury life at that time.
I wouldn't say luxury, but the college had all the amenities. But in terms of finances, I was pretty, backward. So I and my friends, to be honest, my bunch of friends.
You were too much into studies, I believe.
Not too much into studies, but I didn't had much money or time to go out and party in the weekends or anything like that. So basically money was of essence. And so that's where I and my friends decided we will do something or the other, be it a small thing, just to earn some bucks.
Okay.
It might be just for treating ourselves in the restaurant nearby just on a Sunday evening.
Uh-huh.
So that's where it all started. Like, we have to earn money, and also we love solving problems. We made a team. We started doing one after the other, and here we are.
Oh my God. So it started from this college itself.
Start from the college.
Oh, wow. So credit goes to the college and friends.
Friend goes completely to college and friends.
So was there a specific moment or real world problem that triggered the idea of Qwiklif? That specific moment. Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes, actually, it was a personal moment. My dad needed air ambulance. As I said, my dad was working in Middle East. So he was in Dammam in Saudi Arabia, and he had a heart attack. And we had to arrange air ambulance. And we were back in Bombay. So I contacted all possible air ambulance companies, and there were two categories of response ideally I got. One was the expensive ones, the not at all affordable ones, but they were really sure on the safety part. On the other hand, the affordable ones, but they were not really sure on the safety part. So I'm like, for a single patient, how can there be a two major variation? So I saw a market gap, and I had it in my mind that somewhere down the line, if I get the opportunity, and if I get the blessings, I would like to start it. So that's when the idea of Qwiklif was born, way back.
Okay, so that was quite touching one because it's in the family itself, right? So it happened in the family.
Yes.
So you were mentioning in between that your professor have told that everyone have ideas and but few execute, right? So that you mentioned clearly. So what helped you move from concept to reality at a young age? Because even you look young. I don't know how old you are, but still, when you were talking about childhood, I was thinking, okay, so at very early age, because now I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody from the book cover. So what age was that moment of starting something? Yeah.
So I'll answer the later part of the question first. I'm 25.
Okay.
I'm 25, and it started again, as I said, from the, I guess, first semester of college, which was when we were 18. So we were doing this and that. We were completing some assignments. We were helping some seniors in some projects. So that was the starting point. But essentially, if I say, we started a company called Rust Yards. It wasn't a company. It was like basically a project.
What was that? Rust?
Rust Yards.
Rust yards.
Rust
Okay.
Yards. So you might be knowing OLX, right? In
Oh,
India.
Alex. Yeah, yeah.
So in OLX, the problem is you don't know whether your product will be sold within 2 days, 2 years, 2 months. You never know. So there's this company over here called Sell Any Car. So we used the same concept, and we were like, why not we do it in the college? So seniors were leaving the college because they graduated. So they had a lot of things which they wanted to sell.
Yeah,
If
of
they
course.
could,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
money out of it, why not? And we just made a list of items they wanted to sell. It was right from earpods to cycles to mattresses, every single thing you can think of. And we went on a weekend to the city, and we got the contact number of all possible guys who were ready to buy these things. Basically, the mobile shop owners who buy second-hand mobile shop, cycle guys, everyone. And then what we did is then for the next 1 week straight, we just collected the data. We collected photos, we collected their names, numbers, how old were they, etc., etc. And then we started a bidding for 24 hours straight amongst the contact numbers that we had made in that weekend. So within the same city, for the same product, everyone was bidding for it over WhatsApp. That, okay, I'll give you 500, I'll give you 550, I'll give you 600, 650. So within 24 hours, whoever had the highest bid wins the product.
Okay.
So it was the start of that week, and then we did it for approximately 8 to 10 months. We did same thing, which means if anyone wanted to sell any product, our team member will come, inspect, click few photographs, and then we'll be bidding for 24 hours. Whoever gets the highest bid wins the wins the product. And then if they want to sell it for that price, well and good, we make a cut out of it. Just like that. And in the weekends, we were just doing delivery. So we bought one tempo, we packed all the goods, delivered it across city. Then this replicated in different colleges. Then it grew a little bit. So
Okay.
this is how it
It
started.
looks like, this bit of this podcast, if any director could see it, it looks like, a movie hero doing, you know,
Looks
just
like that, but it was a pain. It was a struggle.
okay. In any South Indian movie, if you look, or I don't know any part of any language movies, it's like, young hero, how he started up with his friends. This can be a threat for them. Anyway, it sounds good, and I could see the positivity in you. So, what gap did you identify in the global air ambulance and medical transfer space? Because in between, you mentioned about the personal experience that, so you were saying one can be affordable, but not everything was there. The other one was expensive. So, what gap did you identify there? And yeah, would like to know about it.
So that was the exact market gap that we intended to cater to when we were in the ideation stage of the company. But then as we started working on it, we realized that there is one more area which is missing from the whole market, which is currently our primary goal, the time. When it comes to health and safety or medical air transfer or medical evacuation, so to say, time is of extreme importance. Time plays a very, very critical role.
100%.
And that's our primary thing. Of course, apart from safety, that's our primary thing that we cater to. Be fast, and that's where our name comes from, Qwiklif. The word quick. So that is the major market gap that we are intending to cater to our customers.
Okay, and why did you choose Dubai as a base?
So Dubai specifically because we were clear from the beginning that we don't want to be a domestic medical air transfer company. We wanted to be purely international medical air transfer only, and international medical evacuation. Dubai, if you look at it, is like a global transition hub.
It's a hub.
It's
Yes.
a hub.
Yeah.
So if suppose anyone wants to come from US to India, they will come via UAE or via
Yeah,
Dubai or
yeah.
now Abu Dhabi. So it is likely that we can use that route for medical air transfer. A. Secondly, majority of the medical air transfer inquiries or occurrences happen mid-air. That means one of the passenger falls sick or something like that.
Yes, yes.
So it is most likely that they are prone to land in UAE. So that's where the idea of setting up the base or headquartering our company in UAE came in.
That's a wise decision for sure. So, again, what was in earlier days when you started the company Qwiklif? So, when was it? Would like to know the date.
We started operations on 22nd March 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
So, when you start in those days, is there any problems or that time? What is there anything that made you, in the toughest situation when you were in the beginning stage when you were starting?
The toughest part when we started it was me and my co-founder, essentially. And we were the one doing sales. We were the one reaching out to, the family members of the patient, etc., etc. And we didn't had much, we didn't had much testimonials or anything to show.
I know.
Because we were just starting up, right? And we look young. So it was very difficult to convince the family members to trust the life and safety of their loved ones in our hands. That was the difficult part, I would say, because even in the previous startups that I worked in, sales has been my forte. So I was good at it, but those were not such, concerning ones. So here, when a young guy comes and says things, family takes a little bit, backwards. They would like to see references. They would like to see testimonials, which way we didn't have that time. That was, I would say, the most difficult part. But having said that, what differentiates our line of work with other companies that I have started up is there is no chance of compromise here in terms of safety. One lapse in judgment can cost someone's life. So the licensing part or getting all the approvals, all these things took a long time. So I mentioned that, I started the company on 22nd March 2024, but the company was registered in October 2023. So it took around 4 to 5 months to get, everything
all
in
the
order.
approvals, especially when you start in Dubai, you get a lot of approvals.
Yes.
And
So that was, getting everything ready to start was a challenge. But at the same time, I would say bigger challenge was, convincing the first few set of clients to trust us. And by God's grace, we have been doing well. We have completed now around 1,800 plus patient transfers till now. And we have had only one fatality on board till now. But that was also like, we had told them that this is bound to happen. So, but the family was cooperative and they were like, no problem. We have to take our father back to the home country before anything happens in, the country where they were already, because it would be really difficult for them later to do all their rituals and everything.
So how did you validate that Qwiklif could scale internationally, not just locally? How you can validate it?
So we did our groundwork before starting the company. We did our research of how big the market was, what is the total addressable market, and generally, if you think of it, or if anyone for that matter, before I got to know about this industry, if you see medical air transfer, how many might happen from UAE? Maybe once in a week or twice in a week. That's what you would think, but it is immense. Like, every day there are on an average from 2024's data, around 2 to 2.5 patient transfer happen just from UAE. Alone. Yes, per day.
Okay.
So it's a big market which you can address for, and I think there is a lot of scope for improvement for the industry as a whole, and there is a lot of scope for companies like ours to cater to more and more patients, to help more and more families. And medical, so this I'm talking about medical repatriation, which is a planned medical air transfer. Medical evacuation is a completely different ballgame. So in that as well, there is immense scope if we do the proper market research.
So that rightly you mentioned about the market research and all the stuff. So you yourself do it, or you have a team that they do everything, and then you think about it?
No, when you're starting up, it's only you and your co-founder. That's it. So only we were there, but we spoke to experts of the industry. We spoke to individuals who have been working in the industry for decades and decades. So from them we got to know, and of course now there are sources available from where you can get actual data. We met few consultancy firms who guided us properly. So that's where it came from.
Okay,
But it was
great.
us only.
Yeah. So initially, when we started the podcast, I was telling you that I have zero knowledge about this area.
Yeah.
So would like to know how this works. What in the real life scenario, how it works. For example, if somebody from UAE is calling you and saying that we need your service, Qwiklif, that we need the air ambulance. So how it works, I would like to know what are the facilities that you have.
So to begin with, as soon as we get the inquiry, we reach out to the family member or whoever got to us, asking the necessary reports, the medical reports of the patient, and the destination and what's the condition, how urgent is the matter. There are several parameters. So based on the medical condition of the patient, we send our medical team to evaluate the patient.
Okay.
So our medical team goes there in person if they are in UAE or if they are in the reach of our medical personnel. If not, by teleconferencing, video conferencing, we speak to the medical team of the hospital to
Okay.
get to know more about the medical condition of the patient. Then we tell the family that, see guys, there are option A, B, C. So if I do broadly categorize, the medical air transfer can be done either A, in a private jet. So
Okay.
basically we make the private jet into an ICU configuration, complete ICU configuration. B, in commercial airlines such as Emirates, Air India,
Okay.
Indigo.
The flights that we normally.
We normally
Oh,
flies in, right? So but the problem is in private jet we can take off immediately. Like if the jet is ready over here, we can take all the approvals within few hours and we can take off
Okay.
at the earliest 3 hours. We can take off. On the contrary, if it's commercial medical air transfer, it will take minimum 3 days for all sort of approvals to come into picture. So what we do is in the commercial airlines, we reserve the rear end of the aircraft. We block 6 to 9 seats, bend it, and in some cases we remove the seats. We put the stretcher, attach all the medical equipments, all the oxygen cylinders, everything. Then we bring the patient and we take the patient along with our medical personnel.
Oh.
So this whole process is a bed-to-bed service, which means from the hospital bed at the origin to the hospital bed at the destination.
Okay.
So the patients generally don't go via the normal terminal like how you and I go.
Yes.
We start with the ambulance from the origin hospital. We take the patient with something called as the tarmac access. So we take the tarmac access for the ambulance, we take the tarmac access for the medics and the patient. So the ambulance via a super gate goes straight to the parking bay of the aircraft.
Okay.
So given that the aircraft is ready to board, we take the patient into something called as the ambulift. It's a device which is used to lift the patient from the ground level to the aircraft doors level. And we place the patient in the stretcher, which is already made. So it is like a mini ICU section in the commercial aircraft. On the other hand,
In the private.
the private jet is like your own craft, completely privatized,
Okay.
but it's like a fully ICU setup. So any sort of ICU equipments would be there in the private jet. Here it's like a mini ICU setup. So that's the major difference and the time delay. So if you are okay for taking the patient after 3 to 4 days, yes, commercial medical air transfer is an option. Also, there's a huge price difference, of course, because there's a private jet which is flying, and here it's a commercial medical air service. So this is how we do. It's a bed-to-bed service, complete ICU setup, and complete medical service on board.
Okay. That is, I think when we hear it, looks like, step by step you're just saying, but I think it's a long.
It's immense work. You were mentioning about movie, right?
Yes.
I think we can make movie on a specific transfers.
Yes,
Like
100%. Yeah.
like a documentary.
Sure. I hope somebody will look into this podcast and
Definitely.
cast you as the main character itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what types of medical conditions? You were saying that different conditions. There are many cases happening in UAE itself. So, what types of medical conditions typically requires an air ambulance service instead of commercial travel?
By commercial travel, you mean like normally travel?
Normally, if I'm sick, if I go by myself,
Right.
right? So, what are the urgent cases that usually people call you that we need? What are the cases? Some of the cases that you can mention.
Sure. So generally, our work or our line of work comes into picture when the patient cannot travel by normal means, or patient is not allowed to travel by normal means without any medical assistance. That's where we come into picture. And ideally, if you have to look globally, we get two type of inquiries. One is for planned medical air transfer. Okay, one of my family member wants to travel from here to here. He's on ventilator support, on oxygen, so on and so forth. Or it can be as simple as a fracture case. On the other hand, we get medical evacuation inquiries as well, which means there are one very important case I would like to mention here. It came in news and all. So one Swedish national who had his origin from Afghanistan, but he was settled over there for decades. And once he became old, he wanted to visit his hometown. So he went back to Afghanistan and he fell sick over there. And he was in midst of that time there was issue going on with the Taliban government,
Yeah.
US government, etc. So he was stuck midst of that, and also he was very sick. He was in hospital. The hospital didn't have much facility to, take care of him. So his family members contacted us from Sweden, and they are like, so for Swedish nationals, medical evacuation is free of cost by the government. But in this case, the government apparently told them they cannot help them. So they reached out to us, and then we did the mission. It was a very difficult mission. So we brought the patient from Kandahar to Dubai. From Dubai onwards, the Swedish government took over the mission.
Okay.
That is medical evacuation. So we get medical evacuation and we get medical air transfer as well. Medical evacuation can be anything. We cannot determine what we are running into, but that's generally the private jet one, the air ambulance one. Medical air transfer can be as simple as a fracture case to as complicated as ventilator cases. Ventilator cases are like very common for us, especially from Middle East.
Okay. Would like to know about, your team. You have doctors in your team, right? Could you elaborate on your team?
Right. So our in the whole company, our strongest part, I would say, is the medical team. That's where the company owes the success to. The medical team consists of doctors, nurses, paramedics, who have decades of experience of medical air transfer, and we also offer a service called as ECMO. So ECMO is almost the last stage to to make the patient's condition better, essentially, if I have to say. We have ECMO specialists on board. So our medical team is generally the strongest. It should be in for any company in our line of work. But then comes the operations team, who make sure that everything is going perfectly. There's logistics team, there's corporate relations team, who maintains good licensing with different corporates, different United Nations, different entities, different governments. We closely work with majority of the governments. There is a medical repatriation for their nationals. So yes, we have these teams, but essentially the strongest part of our company is the medical team.
Of course. So, for example, when you get a call that, this patient is having some sort of issues, so who will be allocating the specific doctors, this team will be good for, traveling with them or something like that. So, you have a team for that to decide.
Yes, it is decided by the medical team member who is evaluating the patient. Either
Yeah,
in
the
person-
initial
Yes,
evaluation.
either in person or who is doing the teleconferencing with the medical
Okay.
team.
So, for example, if it is a long, air transport, so when your team is traveling with them and all, so how well, you communicate with them and how you connect with the families. So, how those kind of, because it's an emotional
Right.
connection also needed. It's not only with the the
Right.
things that we say, okay, everything is perfect. Maybe they need an emotional support as well. So what in those areas, so how you guys are dealing with it?
So when it comes to the chartered air ambulance, which is the private jet, generally majority of the private jets nowadays has an option of onboard Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So we keep updating them. And when it comes to commercial medical air transfer, we take the complex cases, which is generally the ventilator cases and above, in certain airlines only. We have that rule as a company, that we have to take so and so is the patient condition. And they are going from Middle East or from UAE. We have to take this patient in Emirates only, no matter what, even if it's expensive. But for the patient, this is safe. So in such cases, nowadays majority of the airline gives the option of onboard Wi-Fi. We just have to pay them. So that using that, we keep updating them. At the same time, as I said, our service is not just airport to airport, it's bed to bed. So the ground ambulance driver, the paramedics at the origin, the ground ambulance driver, paramedics at the destination, the airport authorities, we maintain a close coordination with them, through which the family is completely updated in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, okay. So you create a WhatsApp group then and there.
Yes.
So that emotional part also being
Yes.
taken care. That is so good. So aerospace engineer become a co-founder of Qwiklif. So how do you feel? Are you doing anything related to that you studied in your aerospace engineering?
I feel engineering is again all about solving problems,
Okay.
right? So I think I'm doing that for the engineering community as a whole, but aerospace specifically, I take very keen interest in the chartered air ambulance. So say for example, there is a patient. So we recently had a patient transfer from Gonzalo to Zambia. So it's a long flight, and the patient's condition is very bad. It is very critical. So there was no chance that we could take a tech stop, or which means we could land it between refuel and startup. So that's where my aerospace knowledge comes into picture, and I decide, okay, this patient might be comfortable in a Gulfstream 500, which is a bigger jet, can fly non-stop. That is one area. Secondly, if the patient cannot afford private chartered air ambulance, so I can map out options because of my previous knowledge of aerospace engineering, that okay, this route can be optimal for the patient, wherein ground ambulance would be less. We might have to take 2 planes, and there is a layover time. Herein we can use airport medical center, so on and so forth. Basically it helps in
I didn't expect this answer at all because you are talking now with the math
Yeah.
in it.
So
Good, great.
basically my interest towards aviation or aerospace as a whole helps in operational efficiency of the company, if I have to put
Brilliant.
it very specifically.
Brilliant.
I think that's one area, but hopefully I'll be working more core into aerospace.
Yeah.
That's my end goal.
Yeah. So while talking, I was observing that you were mentioning about some of the patients, where they traveled and all. So you have every day you will be getting to know about the patients. So is there any specific moment, anything which is still there in your heart, like as a memory or as a proud feel or something about any patients or anything that you remember from the past?
Well, there are multiple, but if I have to specifically say the Kandahar one that I told you, from Kandahar to Dubai, it was like a miracle. If I have to give you a little bit more specifics, it was before taking the patient, we had to land our craft in Kandahar, right? It was a chaos to the level that the aircraft is hovering in the sky, but they are not giving us landing permit. So we had put our men on ground beforehand itself, because we anticipated that things are not really good in that region. I mean, back then it wasn't. So we anticipated that there might be some problems. So we put few of our members over there. So they reached out to one official after the other, and then they reached to the regional leader of the Taliban government over there, and he was gracious enough that he just gave a call, and then we landed the craft.
Okay.
And we were also running out of fuel. Because it's a private jet, right? Private jets doesn't carry that much of fuel. So we landed, and then we took the patient, and we flew as soon as possible from Kandahar, straight landed in Dubai. The best moment was the family members, the children of the patient, had flew down to Dubai, and they were eagerly waiting, in the hospital. So I was with them at the hospital while the patient was coming. So the tears in their eyes, the blessings that they gave us was of immense value. So in this line of work, the maximum joy that I get is from the messages I get after the patient is successfully transferred to the destination hospital.
I know this, especially this line of work is having both the side, right? It's a risky,
Yes.
Time, like you mentioned, time is very important, safety is important. So there are quite of stressful days for you as well, right? So how you deal with it? That's a personal question rather than the business part.
Well, I think how I deal with it is by dealing with dealing the problem straight up with the team, because I love my team, and I always say this: my team is the best. So just to give you an example, if we remove the medical part of the company, the average age of the company, our company team members, is just 24.
Oh,
So, so so
the
these
young
are,
bloods.
yes, young bloods,
Okay.
and I love working with them, and especially when we all are together in this stressful moment, and we come up with a solution. I think that's how I deal with problems.
Oh, that is, yeah, it is difficult to, when we are in that situation, I don't know how we handle it, but it's a good thought. So again, we were talking about your good memories. Is there anything something which you can mention as a bad memory for the whole, something which made you feel bad? Okay.
Uh, by God's grace, we haven't had such situation. Yes, there was one case wherein we had to evacuate a patient from Sudan. The Sudani civil war broke out that time, and we had to evacuate the patient from Khartoum, I guess. Uh, and everything was ready. It was just that the family was arranging the funds, and meanwhile we were working on the approvals. By the time they could arrange funds, the patient passed away. So I wish there was some way, in which I could solve this problem of expediting the problem, because generally medical air transfer in a private jet is a big amount. So especially even if you have the money in a weekend, to transfer this money or to arrange this money is a task. It's a major issue. So if we could
Some things are not in our hands. So these kind of situations.
yes, and even we as a service provider cannot activate the craft unless and until we get the money, right?
Yes.
So that's a major problem. So that is, I wish if I could help there. That's one memory I would like to,
Yeah, that's still there in your memory. Anyway, because I know that, this is a field where we have to be emotionally strong as well. This kind of situation will happen. So do you assist families with their insurance part and all?
Yes, definitely. So if the medical air transfer is covered in the insurance, we work with almost all the insurance companies who deals with medical air transfer.
Okay.
We ease up the process. We give all the necessary documents, and since we have long time relations with the insurance companies in terms of number of patients, the number of insurers for them we have evacuated, it's generally easy for the family because the company already knows us. So they are like, okay, it's quickly fine. All right, you can proceed further. So that eases up the process.
Yeah. But maybe for the common people, they must not have that idea of, okay, Qwiklif is there, air ambulance. Air ambulance, I'm sure that they must be, having a vague idea about it. If a normal people, how affordable it is, and, how to contact you guys. So how to, would like to know more about it.
Right. See, in terms of affordability, it highly depends upon A, the medical condition of the patient, B, the urgency of the case, and C, the sector, which means from where to where you have to take the patient. But ideally, nowadays, medical air transfer has turned out to be extremely affordable because of the facilities that the airlines are providing to service providers like us.
Okay.
Because of that, yes, it is quite affordable compared to the medical expense over here, given that your insurance is exhausted or your insurance is not there. So see, for example, let's take an example of the UAE to India. We can effectively take a patient who is on ventilator support in the commercial medical air transfer in the same cost as that of 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 nights of an ICU cost of the hospital.
Okay.
So it is that level of affordability. That answers the first part of the question. And secondly, to contact us with majority of the hospitals in the Middle East, we are tied up with them. So the hospital themselves will refer our name to the patient family. But or else you can just Google air ambulance or type Qwiklif Air Ambulance, and you can reach out to us anytime.
Okay.
It's
Whose idea was this name, Qwiklif? Is that yours?
Mine and my co-founders actually. So we wanted to name the company which makes sense. So we wanted to be, as I said, when we did the market research, we understood time is of essence. So quick came into picture, and then it should either be lift or life. So it should be quick lift or quick life. We searched for both the names, both the domains, and both the copyrights of the names were taken. So we decided to remove the last letter.
So Qwiklif.
And
Yeah.
QUICK. It's not QUICK because it was quite expensive. So we made it QWIKLIS.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
we just twisted,
Qwiklif. Yeah. So you mentioned about the cost efficiency and all. That's nice. And your team, you were talking about your team and how every time when you guys meet, so this patient stories and all this stuff you discuss, and how you get to know about all the transfers, because you know many of the details about it. So how you get to know? Every day you sit and read about it or talk about it?
Yes, so every day we have a stand-up meeting in the morning.
Okay.
All the team leads discuss with me about the cases that they are working on. That is one. Secondly, either way, I'm always active on our database. So as soon as there is any inquiry, there is any document coming up, they upload in the database, and I read it from there. And I personally want to give the best service to the family member. So I always crave for how we can make this better. So whenever there is a mission plan there, I read it, and then I can say, guys, how about we, maybe arrange a cab or maybe arrange a better vehicle for the patient family so that they can come along till the airport to drop off or to pick up the patient at the destination.
Yeah, because there is human connections.
Yes. So just how we can make it, just to answer the question, how we can make it better, I am very, very keen on the specifics of the patient transfer.
Yeah, I can make out from all your words. So, as a leader, how you consider yourself as a leader or a manager or a founder? How you with the team?
Well, I like to put it as an engineer.
Engineer. Okay.
Solving a problem.
With the team.
Yes, with the team.
Okay.
Maybe it may be, problem on how to grow the company again, an engineering problem.
Yep.
So I'll put it as an engineer, not a leader, founder, visionary.
Nothing like that. Okay, that's good. So when we are in different part of the world, because we are from India and we are in Dubai, and you started a company in Dubai, so the safety regulations will be different in different countries, right? And there will be, I don't know much to put in those kind of wordings about, the framework of different countries are different, or the paperwork is different. So how you guys deal with it? You assist the patient family for that, or how to go about, how you guys go about it?
So patient's family doesn't have to be involved in that area, because we offer bed-to-bed service. Even if the family says, no guys, we'll arrange the ambulances, you just drop us from airport to airport, we generally deny it.
Okay.
Because we anticipate that there might some problem with the ambulance approvals, tarmac access, etc., etc. So to avoid the headache, we say no. If we are doing it, we will give you bed-to-bed service only. Maybe you can pay the ground ambulance cost to our ground ambulance vendor directly, no problem. But if at all we are taking the mission, it's a bed-to-bed mission. So we are very specific on that. And
regarding the governments and all the stuff that...
Yes, we are very specific on it. And regarding the regulations across the world, it is, if I have to draw an analogy, it is very similar to how an airline operates or how a charter company operates.
Okay.
So there's some international regulations across the world in which we have to operate. So we follow that standard of operating procedures. So that's where, it's not much of an issue if you are going by the books.
Okay.
So that's why we say, guys, no, it's bed-to-bed service only.
Okay, so now the technology is evolving. AI is there, a lot of things have changed. So how the future of air ambulance and the medical aviation, how you look forward to it? Is there anything going to change from now on?
I think aeromedical transfer specifically is an area wherein I feel AI will have the minimum impact.
Okay.
But on the contrary, there are some problems which using AI we can solve. We have a small set of team who's already working on it, but accuracy is again a problem. So the problem statement specifically, if I have to say, it is from the time of inquiry till the time we give the options and the pricings for the aeromedical transfer of the patient, it's huge. When we started in the Middle East market, the average time based on our market research, it was 8 hours. Okay. We have somehow dropped it down by having certain types with the airlines, certain specific price ranges. We have dropped it down to 3 hours. But it's
8 to 3.
8 to 3.
Okay.
Yes, but still, I feel in such critical scenarios, 3 hours is a lot. If we can make booking a medical air transfer as easy as booking a normal flight ticket, then nothing like it. So that is what we are, that small team of interns is working on it.
Okay, so you have given task already.
Yes, yes,
Oh, so-
yes. And I sit with them almost every day. But let's see how it goes.
Okay. Okay. What advice would you give it to the families, those who are facing a medical emergency abroad, anywhere in the world? What do you want to tell them that?
Well, I would say don't wait till the last moment. Keep all your options ready, even if the patient is being treated at the nearest hospital facility. But still, if there is even a nuance in your mind that you have to take the patient back to their home country or to some other place for a better medical treatment, keep all your options ready. Don't wait till the last moment, because as the patient's medical condition deteriorates, the medical air transfer becomes exponentially difficult. The prices go up, the number of equipments we need is more. Maybe you cannot travel in commercial, medical air service. You have to opt for the private jet, which is expensive. So be ready with all your options. That's what I would like to say.
Okay. So, as a young entrepreneur, so what will be your advice to those people, like the engineers coming up, engineers, those who wanted to be like you as a founder of something? So, do you want to give them any tips?
I would say just the Nike's tagline, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Don't think. More you think, more you will be stuck in the thinking process only. Just start up and first start, then make it better.
I like it. It's very simple. Just do it. Just do it. Whatever is there in your mind,
Yeah, just execute.
execute. Okay. So before we end this podcast, would like to know about your family, your, who all are there at your, family and their support as well.
So I don't have any siblings. It's just me, mom, and dad, and the extended family, of course. And my mom and dad has been of immense support. Best part about my childhood, if I have to say, is they never said no to anything I want to try off. Be it, you might have figured out from a voice, I have a little bass voice. Even with that voice, when I told them, I want to try singing, they appreciated, they encouraged it. So they were very, very encouraging, very supportive. So from the value point of sight, my mom has been extremely encouraging, extremely supportive. From the, industry side or from the market side, my dad has been, has been my backbone. He has backed me up whenever I felt low, whenever I felt down. He has always been there. And I think, that's what is my biggest strength. My team and my family members, and of course my friends. So in the company as well, majority of the key team leaders are the people with whom I studied, with whom I did all the initial ventures. So they are the team leads now in my company. So these are the guys whom I can trust with anything for that matter. So that gives me immense strength. So that I think my family, my friends, and my team.
Okay, that makes you complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before we finish, I have one more thing to ask because I want you to talk to the listeners, those who are listening to us, about your Qwiklif, and if they need help, you are there, right?
Yeah.
So just wanna give a message to them about your service.
Right. So, Qwiklif Air Ambulance, if I have to say in short, GIST is some international medical air transfer service provider, which means if you have anyone in your contacts who might be requiring or requires medical air transfer from anywhere to anywhere. We are headquartered in UAE, but we have branches. We have 5 branches now, and we are expanding, and we do medical air transfer across the world. So if there is any patient, any of your relatives who's looking for medical evacuation, medical repatriation, or a planned medical air transfer, you can reach out to us anytime via Google, Instagram. We are there in across all social medias. We are tied up with majority of the hospitals, embassies, consulates. So you can reach out to us anytime via any of these mediums, and we'll be all there to help you out.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you. And I'm quite inspired, really with the way that I remember only just do it, that statement. Okay. Thank you so much. And once again, thanks from Ray's RR podcast. And I wish all the best.
Thank you.
and would love to, spread the love and happiness in all others' lives. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for hosting me.
I'll be back with the next inspiring story very soon.